Robert Pattinson toys with Twilight fans' emotions. Another Twilight movie? It's been just 5 years since the fifth and final installment in the film series was released, and Robert Pattinson is already being asked about the possibility of a reboot. Really, they're expanding it? The lost city of the actor, 30, asked Yahoo. Movies. So, I'll get my own spin-off? Not quite. But there have been talks about rebooting the series. Twihards are a devoted bunch, and Pattinson's interest sent some into a frenzy. "I'm always kind of curious," he said. "Anything where there's a mass audience, or seemingly an audience for it, I always like the idea of subverting people's expectations. There could be some radical way of doing it, which could be quite fun. It's always difficult when there's no source material." In the years since Twilight ended, Pattinson has starred in the Rover, Maps to the Stars and Life, among other more serious fare. As he established an identity outside of the film series, he's also enjoyed more anonymity, something that felt impossible during Twilight's heyday. "It's definitely calmed down in terms of my everyday life," the actor admitted, "but mainly because I spend more time in London, which is totally different. And I'm doing more parts that just sort of interest me, while in a lot of ways taking a little bit of a step back just to learn and get better. I guess I've never really acknowledged what the fan base is, or even if I have one." Acknowledging that he does, in fact, have a fan base, he said, "I'm always pretty curious about what people say afterward, and who turns up, who likes the movie. It's always kind of random. But I love it when someone who you just really wouldn't expect says, 'Oh, I liked you in this.'" Pattinson may be willing to consider a return to Twilight, but what about his other co-stars? In 2015, Kristen Stewart, who played Bella Swan opposite Pattinson's Edward Cullen, revealed she had similar feelings about rebooting the popular franchise. "I was so genuinely, heavily entrenched in that, and not in a way that felt like an obligation. Even though after the first one, which stood alone, it lasted a long time," Stewart told Uproxx. "It's hard to speak to a 5-year period in a few sentences, but I loved doing it. But that doesn't mean I want to keep doing it." If other people starred in a reboot, Stewart would be interested in seeing the new films. "I'd be kind of fascinated," she said, "but it wouldn't emotionally affect me one way or the other."